next 6 weeks, has started several hundred companies in South Africa, several hundred companies in Haiti. He moved it to University of Florida, got a couple hundred companies started down there in Gainesville. And then Notre Dame heard about Michael and they said, you know, we're a Catholic organization. We believe it's God's work to help entrepreneurs. Could you do it here in South Bend? And that's where Michael teaches it now. So while we're doing this session in Milwaukee, Michael is doing it in South Bend. The program is special. One reason why it's special is after you go through this 6 weeks of learning, you're going to go through 3 or 4 months of doing. And the doing part gets hard because it costs money, right? Well, with this program, we provide you with mentors and student consultants who do the things that typically cost you money. So those things are free legal, getting your numbers into QuickBooks or an accounting system, creating websites, creating simple flyers, creating your social media presence. So it's special. There's something else special about this year in that the last 2 cohorts didn't get any money. So they were customer financed. And we expect that you'll do that too, but at the end of this, we are going to have a pitch competition. The first place person will get $1,000. The second place person will get $500. And everybody else will get at least $300. So you'll have some seed money to do printing or hire somebody part-time for a few hours a week to get you going. So I think that'll help a lot. I want to introduce Denise Thomas. She's renowned here in Milwaukee. She's the MC at many of the bigger events here in Milwaukee. She's built an unbelievable business called the Effective Communications Coach. I love her kicking off this session because she was where you were 3, 4 years ago, Denise?
I would say about
5 years ago. One thing's funny about Denise is she's such an effective communicator. I said, you could easily be a broadcaster. And she said, Patrick, they don't make enough money. And I know she's making dough because she used to have her office in our offices, and I'd see the checks come in the mail every week, and then I'd put them on her desk. So, Denise has become a friend over the last couple of years. I'm going to let her loose now on you. Ladies and gentlemen, Denise Thompson.
So I'm supposed to stand here, right? This is so, can I stand here?
Yeah, you just need to.
Oh, that's right, I'm gonna use this, all right. So
Yeah.
All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning. I don't like standing here because I feel like I'm not connecting with y'all, so just bear with me. I am by no means, I'm using her name because I just saw her the other day at Summerfest. I'm no means Megan Thee Stallion. I'm not gonna be like, I went to go see Uncle Charlie last night, it was great. Anybody go see Uncle Charlie Wilson last night, Summerfest? Anybody? Okay. All right. Oh. Okay. Now see, this is why I didn't want the mic. All right. It's good? You prefer this? Okay. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Lily, I need you to go somewhere and be still. I need everybody to be still.
Sounds good. Let me just check this.
All right. Side note, as Lily is getting ready, when you're presenting, pitching, communicating, you make sure your stage is right. You know what I'm saying? Have people respect the stage. Not that Lily wasn't, but one of the things that we're going to talk about today is mindset. And as an entrepreneur, especially those, how many of you have worked for someone or a company, an employer, for over 20 years? Raise your hand. Okay. 10 years. Raise your hand.
For the same company or different?
Nope. Great question. Let me clarify. How many of you that are right now pursuing being entrepreneurs are coming from working, I don't care how many companies, but are coming from working for someone or an employer? Raise your hand. All right. The reason why I asked that question is because there's a term known as conditioning. Everybody's familiar with conditioning? And each of us in this room that have worked prior to pursuing entrepreneurship are going to have to recondition our minds. Are y'all with me? And everyone in this room, based on what I can see, has been a part of what we know as underserved or traditionally marginalized communities. So I identify as a Black woman, and I can tell you that part of my conditioning, are y'all with me? Part of my conditioning as a Black woman was to get a job, be the first there to rise, be the last one to leave, don't speak unless you're spoken to, keep your head down, do your work, don't be up in there stirring up trouble, don't be the angry Black woman, don't be abrasive, which quite frankly, now that I'm a lot smarter, and I declared back in December of 2021, going into January of 2020, going into January of 2021, that I was no longer going to be consumed by managing certain fragilities. Are y'all with me? And as we get into this content this morning, which is very important, I want everybody to write down the following. We ready? I am enough. I am enough. Whatever entrepreneurship looks and feels like for you, know that you are already equipped for success. Because as long as you have breath in your body, even those days where you just don't feel like getting out of bed, fortunately some of us can work from our beds now due to COVID, but as long as you have breath in your body, guess what that gives you? What does that, oh, I love your shoes. What does that give you? Opportunity to be great. Are y'all with me? That's all you need. Every morning when I wake up and I have breath in my body and I'm in the right mindset, that's all I need to be great. Everything else, what people are saying and what you can't do and what you're not going to do and all, that has nothing to do with my ability to wake up with the mindset of being great. We're going to talk more about mindset. So as my dear friend Patrick had mentioned, when I first started my company independently, because prior to starting my company independently, I worked for a number of companies such as GE Healthcare, Rockwell Automation, PepsiCo, Conagra Foods, and my last employer here in Milwaukee was, now it's known as Molson Coors, but at the time it was Miller Coors. And all of those years, there was something in the back of my mind that was saying, you should walk in your purpose, Denise. So fast forward, so I became, I don't even know why I'm saying it that way. Well, I guess I could say it that way. I became a single mother at the age of 18. I had my daughter when I was 18 in 1995, and I had my son when I was 21 in 1998. I'm 45 now, and both of my children, thank goodness, are adults. They're doing their thing. They're 23 and 26. And I share that because once my son graduated, and any openly single moms in the room? Anybody who want to share? I don't want people to feel like they have to share their personal business, okay? So when you become an empty nester as a single mother, it's different when you become an empty nester with a partner. Because what you realize is that for so many years, consecutively, you've poured into everybody else but you. Y'all with me? This is why we're talking about conditioning first before we get into the content. And so, it was very hard for me to feel comfortable starting my own company independently because of the conditioning that I had for so many years. Both personal conditioning and professional conditioning. And the underlying message was, unless you work for someone, you can't be great. And some of y'all looking at me, and you know right now you got some people in your life that are telling you the exact same thing. Because everything that you're going to gain from this incredible program, it will only be successful and applicable if you have the right mindset. I'm gonna ask you to write something else down. Because apparently I'm here for 2.5, 3 hours. It's all good. I heard this from a dear mentor friend of mine. And I was like, ooh, I need to share that on Saturday. Organize for what you are praying for. And I don't assume everyone in here, in this room, is religious, but I do believe that there is a higher power. For me as a Christian, it's God. Organize for what you are praying for. That was given to me, and I want to share that with you. Because a lot of us in this program, through BizStarts, through Patrick's leadership, through his incredible team, some Saturdays, y'all gonna come in here, be like, I want this, I want that, I need this, I need that, I need this, I want this. But you're not ready to receive it. And that's in every aspect of life. So whatever you are desiring in terms of your company, your business, be ready to receive it. Because all of this that I'm pouring into you, there's going to be some more speakers today, more coaches. Patrick and his team are 1,000, and I know this is not a real figure, 1,000% dedicated to your success. But here's the key. Are you? So fast forward in 2000, I want to say 15 or 16, I can't recall, maybe 2015. I became connected with BizStarts through Patrick's predecessor at the time. And lo and behold, through this introduction, I was offered a business space. Look at God! Position me, absolutely. And I was receptive. I was ready to receive that office space in exchange for my speaking services. Because I don't pretend that 5 years ago my financial position was the same as it is today. And through that relationship, I began to mentor and coach others on presentation, on pitching, on public speaking, on effective communication, presenting your personal brand, all these different areas that are within my scope. And I share that with you because that opportunity that presented itself helped me grow my business. Because a lot of us, and this is prior to COVID, a lot of us like me if I'm not in my office, it's very hard for me to focus at home. My attention deficit is like, phew. I'm way more productive in an office space than I am working at home in my kitchen or on my dining table. Some of you are probably thinking, Denise, why are you sharing that? That's okay, not really significant. Yes, it is, because if you want to be treated like a boss, you got to treat yourself like one first. So look at your environment. Look at how you're presenting yourself. Because the only way that I'm going to see you as a boss is if you present yourself like one. And that's for you to figure that out. That's not for me to prescribe. But remember, for the majority of us in this room, I think it's 100% based on the hands that were raised. We have to reprogram, and I'm going to use another word. I'm going to have to detox. Because from the age of 15 through the age of 40, that's 25 years of different people and different entities telling me what I could and couldn't do. 25 years. That's a long time. So if you think that it's just, okay, let me wake up and check this box and go to St. Anne's and, listen to all this stuff. If you don't have that mindset, if you don't detox and remind yourself every day that you are the CEO, you are the founder, you are the owner, you are the principal, you're the managing partner. And if you're like me as a solopreneur, you're the CEO, CMO, CFO, COO, CAO, CHRO. Organize for what you're praying for. Because when it comes, and if you're not ready, what do you think is going to happen? I can't hear you? Absolutely. Because remember, some of y'all have already received pushback. You're going to do what? You're going to leave that guaranteed check once a month or every other week or every week, and what? You want to do what? Nobody's going. So can you imagine? Listen to this. Check this out. Can you imagine some of the responses that I received from people when I said, I'm going to start a communication consulting business? The word alone, communication. Are you going to make money? What? But I knew, because from the time that I was 3 years old, I've been speaking in front of people. 3. That's why when some people say, Denise is an up-and-coming rising star. No, honey, I've been here. DT's been here. You better catch up. The price just went up for that comment. The price just went up. Because people will try to level you. Are y'all with me? You know, everybody in this room knows what it's like to be leveled. When you're here and they want to, and I'm telling you right now, as entrepreneurs, you better be ready for it, because it's going to come at you every day. Who do you think you are? The audacity to say you're a CEO, you're a boss, you're a leader. There's some other words that we're going to talk about, but do you understand the importance of mindset? Do you understand the importance of detoxing the conditioning that you've had? Do you understand why it's important to organize for what you are either praying for, asking for from the higher power, desiring? Do you understand that? Are y'all with me? Yeah. Okay. So again, Patrick and team, thank you so much for allowing me to be here with these incredible leaders, these incredible bosses. Y'all better get used to that. I can't tell you how many times I have to correct people about who I am. That's okay. They don't know any better. They're just basing that on what they've seen on TV. That's right. What's your name, sorry? Ma'am, what's your name? Miss Janice said they'll get there. And that's not our problem. When and where they get there, that's not our problem. Because the people that mind don't matter, and the people that matter don't mind. That's Dr. Seuss, by the way. All right. We're going to talk about thriving in 2021 and beyond. Notice I didn't use the word surviving. Who in here in this room wants to survive? Thank the Lord. Who in here wants to thrive? There's a difference. In March of 2020, my world was rocked, just like everybody else in this room. I remember I went to the barbershop to get a haircut, and I'm not even exaggerating. Some of y'all probably went through the same experience. I went to the barbershop, I want to say it was like March, maybe 13th or 14th. I can't recall the exact date. Y'all, I went into the barbershop. When I came out the barbershop, everything was closed. Just like that. Everything. Now, I'm an extrovert, in case you can't already tell. I'm an extrovert, and I live alone. At the time, my son was living in Houston with his father, and my daughter is in my hometown with my parents in Evansville, Indiana. So I'm here in Milwaukee, and I'm used to traveling. What was shut down? Everything. Traveling. I'm used to eating out. What was shut down? Restaurants. I fell to my knees and said, Lord Jesus, help me. Churches were what? I don't like to cook. What else was closed? Grocery store. I mean, it was just like a movie. And I literally fell to my knees and I said, I am not going to lose control. Now, fortunately, one of my closest friends, DJ Hines, his father, Bishop Darrell Hines of Christian Faith Fellowship Church, immediately started streaming sermons virtually. And I remember I logged in, and I don't know about y'all, but that day I just felt so, and I hadn't felt that in a long time. I felt so hopeless because there was nothing. Now, being black in this country, we're not new to adversity for those that identify as black. As a matter of fact, one of my dear friends who identifies as a white man, he called me the next day and he was like, Denise, what is going on? What are we going to do? And I said, welcome to being black in America. Now you know what it feels like, real talk. That's what we say to ourselves every day. What are we going to do? But we persevere. And I knew that I had to do the same. So I had to adopt the mindset of I'm not losing control. I need to redefine my how. Are y'all with me? And what I've learned over the course of 2 years since COVID entered our lives is that we should always be adaptive in our leadership. Are y'all with me? Again, women, people of color, we're not new to adversity. Hello? We're not new to adversity. And for those in the room that identify as black or African American, we are standing on the shoulders of our ancestors that went through way worse than COVID. That's a fact. I'm sharing this with you because in addition to the mindset, it's going to be very important for you to adopt, and you can write this down, adaptive leadership. Always, always anticipating change. Hoping for the best, but knowing that there will be some days where you're going to receive way more no's than you do yeses. Now, in 2020, the first week of COVID, the first month of COVID, maybe even 2 months. What do you think, as a public speaker who was busy and booked, what do you think I was getting those first 2 months? Cancellations. So what's that mean? Just so y'all know, I'm commerce driven, and if they ain't making no money, it ain't making no sense to DT. I'm a for-profit, I'm not a non-profit. Let me ask y'all to write that down. Say it out loud. I am a for-profit. I am not a nonprofit. I am a for-profit. I am not a nonprofit. You better get used to that, because some people are going to come to you acting like you are a nonprofit. And since I'm on that topic really quick before I forget, as part of your planning, there will be organizations that are nonprofit that reach out to you for your product and or services. That's fine. Let me tell you what I do. Every December, when I forecast how much money I want to make, see, that's the thing about when you're a boss, you get to tell yourself how much money you want to make. Hello. Hello. And I allocate a certain amount of time for nonprofit organizations. Are y'all with me? Because I still, as an entrepreneur, I am obligated. I want y'all to remember this. I am obligated to give to my community. Notice I didn't say give back. Why we gotta say give back? Just like I don't believe in giving feedback. Give me feed forward. I'm moving this way in life. I'm not moving that way. I give to my community because my community has given to me. However, I still have to have a structure of how many hours, which then results in what? That I am giving pro bono or at a reduced cost. It's a lot easier when you can tell someone, and I'm just going to use Patrick as an example. Patrick, thank you so much for inviting me to speak. At this time, I have exhausted all of my discounted or philanthropy work for the year. However, it's going to reignite the 1st of 2022. I hope that we can schedule something then. You see how I did that? I didn't reject, I didn't say no. And then I also gave the impression of what? My willingness, what else? Future, what else?
Future profit.
Who said that? Okay. It's not a competition. Nobody's going to get a gift card. So she was like, I did, but she actually, I love it. You one selfish leader. I love it. Yeah, she's like, I'm giving credit where credit is due. I love it. Yeah, so I also sounded professional, but take it a little bit further back. I sound like a what? Oh! There you go. Because I'm telling you, every time I say that, it's like this silence. Oh man, she killed it. What can I say but thank you? If you want people to treat you like the boss, if you start talking about you a boss and an entrepreneur and a CEO, but yet you still acting like a worker, then guess what people gonna treat you? And let me tell you this. I promise I got 3 hours, so I can take my time. Are we good? Yeah. Y'all gaining from this? Yeah. Okay. There are going to be, again, and I cannot stress this enough, there are going to be instances where you are going to have to literally make the time to carve out how you are going to show up as a leader. That is not for me to subscribe to you or prescribe to you for that matter, because then I would be compromising your authenticity. But I cannot underscore enough. I wish someone, and that's why actually BizStarts should really get the Nobel Peace Prize, either this year or next year. Because I wish I would have had this type of exposure where I'm in a room where people look like me. Are y'all with me? Because when I started my business, this did not exist, and oftentimes I had to seek advice and coaching from who? Just let's keep it real. This is 2021. Come on now. From who? White people. White men. Because right now, we still in the year of 2021, this is a white male-dominated society, period. That's a fact. Where's the lie? And here we are on a beautiful Saturday morning in Milwaukee, and we are surrounded by other entrepreneurs who what? And the executive director of BizStarts is what? You think he black? You straight? You good? Okay, all right. Because I want to help you if you saw him as a black man. I mean, he's dark, but he's Italian. But in this country, when people look at him, what do they see? Exactly. And where's Patrick? Where's Patrick? Are y'all with me? We got to hold people accountable. I get invited to serve on boards all the time. And first thing I do, what do you think I do? I Google the makeup of the existing board. And in Milwaukee, the majority of the boards that I've been invited to serve on don't have anyone that looks like me. And so what do you think I say? Based on what you know about me so far, what do you think I say? I'll take the position, but just know I'm going to be a disruptor. Especially those nonprofit boards that serve communities where the majority of the people in the community look like us. How are you going to have decision makers that are homogeneous, that look completely different from the community that we're serving? Y'all with me? Organize for what you are praying for. Act like the boss that you are. You want to get treated like a worker? Act like one. You want to get treated like a boss? Because again, what I say, the people that matter don't mind, and the people that mind, deuces. Who knows your worth? Starts with you. We're going to talk about that. But before we talk about who needs to know your worth outside of you, some of us were very quick to say, me, really? Do you truly know your worth? Are you tweaking your prices because the first thing that write that word down too, survival mechanisms. We're going to talk about that too. I want y'all to hold me accountable. Survival mechanisms. Your survival mechanisms are going to tell you, oh my gosh, I need this contract, so let me go ahead and apply a discount. That's not knowing your worth. That's called being desperate. The people that mind don't matter, and the people that matter don't mind. They know your worth because you demonstrate it, so they should have no problem. Does anybody go to the Mercedes, Lexus, Ferrari, Jaguar, Corvette, Audi dealership talking about, can I get a discount? Well, let me tell you, for those that raised your hand, even if they said they gave you one, they didn't. What kind of car do you have? You mind me asking since you raised your hand? What kind of car do you have since you raised your hand? Oh yeah, it's gonna get real. But you did you get a discount on your Volkswagen? Yeah. Okay.
I get discount on everything.
What's your company?
We have a fresh pressed juice and fruit business company.
Have I met y'all before? Yeah! Oh my God! How are you? It's so good to see you. You look amazing. Oh, thank you. I know. God is good, but thank you. You look great. Okay, so I'm glad you said that. Did you hear what she said? She said she drives a Volkswagen and she asked for a discount. Let me say this. This is going to be uncomfortable, but I'm not running for mayor. The same energy that you put out is the same energy that you're going to get in. So if you're someone who's very big on asking for discounts, don't be mad. Come on, somebody. Hello? Don't be mad when your clients are like, can I get a discount? Why would you be mad? That's the principles you live by.
I feel like time is money. When it's a corporation, they're getting paid regardless. So, and I feel like they're doing, it's a service that they're offering.
So say that again about the corporations. Ooh, I love, we're about to have an aha moment. So say that again about the corporations, what you just said.
That they're getting paid regardless.
They're getting paid regardless? What do you mean when you
People,
say?
I mean, their employees, the people who work for them, and they already have their structure together versus a small business. I feel like I'm paying people for their time, or I'm not going to ask them for a discount or whatever.
Okay, so what did you just do? Just think about what you just did in terms of what you said. What did you compare your scenario to? Corporations. What did I ask everybody to do as part of the detoxing and the reconditioning? And you just did it. You just compared. But here's my thing. What's your name?
Tova.
Tova. That's a beautiful name. Queen Tova. What you just did is exactly what is going to serve as a barrier, because you are comparing yourself to an entity that is totally separate. How many corporations did you work for prior to starting your business? Or are you working for a company now?
No.
Okay. How many companies did you work for?
A lot.
A lot. Probably more than 5, 6.
In major, I just left Allstate. Like,
And how many years, roughly, give or take, did you work in a corporate or professional environment?
like 15.
15 years? That's a long time. Your narrative and your mindset are going to get to the point where you're not even going to be bringing that up, because pretty much whether it's a corporation, private or public, nonprofit organization, large or small, at the end of the day, your price is your price. Now, I will say this, as I mentioned before, because you already allocated, you pre-planned what you're going to give in terms of discounted rates for nonprofit or smaller businesses, it is what it is. Or as we say, I said what I said. That's the mindset I want you to adopt. And again, I'm going back to, if you are someone who is constantly seeking discounts, then do not be disappointed or shocked when that's the same energy that's coming into your pathway. Does that make sense? Yes.
But if we know our numbers, we know that there's our goal profit and then our bottom line profit, right?
Yep.
So I could build in discounts for people who need them, and then charge other people who don't ask for them my goal profit, right?
Absolutely. That's the pre-planning. In December, you're going to say, okay, so in 2020, I worked with these nonprofit organizations, and this was the rate. And that's another thing too. I try to use words like investment fee, partnership. This is the fee. This is the investment fee. This is the partnership rate. This is the valued client rate. You see how I'm doing that? That I'm giving these clients. This is an introductory rate that I'm giving, or an introductory investment fee that I'm giving these clients. So as long as you pre-plan that, like you just said, that's perfect. I just don't want your mindset to be where you're dummying yourself down because it's a corporation. You're a corporation too, whether you're an S Corp, LLC, whatever classification, you're just as important as they are. Now, I think that was, no, I'm sorry, what's your name again? Golden. Y'all have such dope names, I love that. So, Golden had brought up, hey, look, I've got a pricing structure, and I'm starting out, and so obviously, I can't just come in the door with the Ferrari price, I got to work my way up. Absolutely you do. But make sure that you are owning what that looks like and they're not telling you. Does that make sense? Because some corporations or some potential clients will think because you are a new business or a startup or a small business that they can treat you a certain way. Remember, if you want to get treated like a boss, you have to act like one. So thank you so much for that offer. At this time, I'm going to have to decline. I am definitely open to negotiation, but this is the minimum. Because outside of just the product and service that I'm providing, there are pre and post work deliverables. And I always say it with a smile, even though I'm thinking something else in my mind. Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Miss Janice. In addition to what they're actually, what they're getting, the end result, there are pre-work deliverables that you're going to have to do to give them that finished product or service, and then there's post-work. You're going to have to still send out surveys, have a debrief so that you can understand what went well, what could I have done differently. That's all what? Time and energy. And guess what? Time and energy is the most precious commodity because I can't get time back. Once it's gone, it's gone. Yes, there are introductory rates. There are value client rates. But let's remove the word discount from our mindset, okay? And because I'm a communication person, I'm very, very big on words, and I'm very intentional with the words that I'm using. We're gonna remove discount. Anybody got a smartphone right handy? Okay. Can somebody Google the definition of the word discount? We're gonna have a little bit of church today too. Y'all gonna learn today. Words are everything. Yes, okay. Can you stand up and read it out loud? Everybody, listen to the definition of the word discount.
It's the usual cost of
Oh. Miss Janice, I love you. You're gonna be my star pupil today. I love it. And that beautiful smile. What's your name?
Jasmine.
Jasmine.
Yes.
Now, before you read, who are you with? What's your company?
WCS.
WCS? Okay, what is that?
Wisconsin Community Services.
Wonderful. And what do y'all do?
We have a lot of social services throughout the community. Right now, I work for Bakari Youth Center. I'm a clinician there. I work with our boys that are there for delinquencies.
Thank you so much for what you do. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yes. Definition
Okay.
of the word discount. I want y'all to lean in. Golden, you with us? Now this is the word that you use. Go ahead and break it down.
All right. A deduction from the usual cost of something, typically given for prompt or advance payment or to a special category of buyers.
What was the first word that came out of your mouth in terms of the definition?
Deduction.
Now, as a black woman, what have you had to experience across the majority of your life?
Say that. Say that.
I'm waiting. You don't want to cry? Oh, you don't want to what? Curse? It's okay. It's a safe place. We're all adults. Express yourself. Mm-hmm. So if you're starting fresh, your own business, this is your baby, where we gonna be millionaires. Why are we even using words that don't manifest greatness? Won't no discount in my narrative? Because the first word that you said was what? Deduction. You've just manifested that. You've just put that in the atmosphere. Whatever energy that you put out is what? I'll see y'all next week. I'm just kidding. Are y'all with me? That's why it's so important to be here, because we're in a room, like-minded individuals that we look like each other, and we have the same passion. And that's why I said from the time that I got on the stage, I said you can have all of this information, all of these tools, all of these mechanisms, but if you don't have the mindset, it means nothing. Do I look like I live in a world of deduction? Okay, so y'all.
You gotta come through.
The majority of my life, I've been reminded on how I should deduct myself.
Yeah.
No more. My point was, in 2020, because I adopted the mindset, y'all think I'm kidding? I got my P&L statement. I have no problem sharing it. It's on my phone. My profit margin in 2020 was double digits.
All right.
Thank you. Profit margin was, my accountant was like, I said, God ain't no joke, is he? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, I'll make sure I stay up here. Plus, I am fully vaccinated. And I'm sharing that with you because it's important that for many of you understand that you are seeing the after. My before ain't no joke. God has delivered me from a lot of stuff. I've overcome a lot of stuff. And the moment that I started investing in me is when the transformation or the power really happened. And I operate in my power every day. Write that down. Operate in my power. Now, yes.
You said something earlier, and I think this kind of goes along with where you are right now, where you said you're going to have to make the time to kind of show up. I don't know, can you expand on that? 'Cause I didn't write the complete quote.
Yes.
But
That's a great point. Thank you so much for, and what was your name?
I'm Angela.
Angela, you look so beautiful. I love what you're wearing. That's a great color on you. Make the time. Now, where are all my people in the room that identify as women? Raise your hand if you identify as a woman. All right. Miss Angela, thank you for bringing that up because Miss Angela probably knows that that has been a challenge for her like most women. Most women, we make time for who? Everybody. ERR body. Everybody else. And then what happens when it's time for us to pour into our company or pour into our business or pour into us? Then what happens? What'd you say? You look beautiful. You look beautiful. But if you don't feel beautiful and your mind isn't beautiful, then what you look like doesn't mean anything. Because I recently lost 60 pounds and everybody keeps coming to me saying, Denise, you look so good. You know what I say? I feel good. I feel good. So, Miss Angela, to finish the statement, you're going to have to make time. Not find time. Make time for you. You are going to have to, this is going to hurt some people. But if entrepreneurship was easy, this room would be like Patrick would have to rent out the Pfizer Forum if entrepreneurship were easy. But Patrick has so many good relationships and people admire his leadership, he probably didn't have to rent the Pfizer Forum. I just said something. I hope y'all got that underlying message. Okay. You're going to have to make time. And I can't tell you how to do that, Miss Angela. I can't tell you that you're going to have to make time. And I'm speaking to all the people in the room that identify as women because we are the worst when it comes to making time for us. And for the people in the room that identify as men or outside of that, you've seen how your mom drops everything or a woman in your life drops everything for you. Brother, that's my son's name. That's why I was getting good synergy from this. Yes, my son, but he spells it with the word letter E. D-A-R-E-N. You get that? What's the word? Dare. Side note. Daring. Just expand on your experience with women. How have women poured into you? Or how have you experienced women in your life?
Really good.
Really good, I know, right? Why? How?
Well, I've always had strong women in my life, and my mother's a strong woman, and God rest her soul, but and I've had the women leaders leadership in men as well as men. So they've given of themselves.
And when you say daring, strong women, what demonstrates the strength? How do you experience that strength?
They just do what they have to do. You know, they get the job done. They don't make women. The women I know, they don't make excuses. They just get it done.
Woo! Just think about the women in your life and think about how you show up as a woman. You do a lot for a lot of people, don't you? And then when it's time to do something for you, then what happens? Your survival mechanisms, we wrote that down. Your survival mechanisms tell you what? You're not supposed to be doing nothing for you. What's wrong with you? What you mean you're going to take a vacation? What you mean you're going to go to the spa? What you mean you're going to get a therapist? You'll be back. You ain't going nowhere. You're going to miss me. You'll be back. Remember the color purple? What Mr. Tell Miss Seeley? I should have locked you up. Then, when she started operating in her power, what happened? Not only did she get her business, she got her child, her children. Life just, because you know what happened? The same energy that she was putting out is the same energy that she got back in this thing called life. She started operating in her power. She started walking in her purpose. She started telling people, no, that doesn't align with my mission. Now, with Miss Seeley, even though The Color Purple is a fictional story written by Alice Walker, and she did win a Pulitzer Prize for that, and it was turned into a movie, we all can relate to The Color Purple. Now, what happened to Mr.? Because remember, what you put out in life is what you get back in. What happened to Mr.? He lost everything. And then there's this thing called can't sleep at night, wondering why God is trying to tell you something. And he went to the Department of Customs, and the same union that he broke up, because he knew that the sister was the only one that loved Miss Seeley, he had to what? And he looked like the bottom of my shoe while he was doing it. You see what I'm saying? When you start making the time, Miss Angela and everybody else, when you start making the time, because for a lot of us in this room, it's going to be very difficult to do that. There are going to be people that are going to make you feel like you're doing something wrong when you put yourself first. Hello? Because they've been so accustomed to you what? Doing for everybody but you. And entrepreneurship, especially for those in the room that are solopreneurs such as me, you're really going to have to be selective with who you have in your circle. Who has, and let me just also ask you to write this down. There are some people who have access to you right now. So write this down. Who has access to me? I'm sorry? Your mama? If that's a good person, it's going to help you thrive. Keep her close to you. You know, family we don't get to choose for the most part. So there's going to be some folks you're going to have to be like. There's tiers in my network. Yes. I have tier A, tier B, and tier C. Tier A, family, friends, associates are the ones that I know believe in me and want me to win. Tier B are people who may not necessarily want me to win, but they're good to have in my life. Tier C, I usually don't have a choice. Holidays, I have to be, around them, but they can't just call me and I drop what I'm doing and pick up the phone. Y'all need to start, if you haven't already, identifying your network. Because your network is your net worth. If you got a bunch of broken down, angry, depressed, don't want to see nobody win, people in your network, then guess what? That's your worth. Some of y'all need to go through your phones and look and scroll and look at your contacts and look at your missed calls, your incoming calls, your outgoing calls, and be like, does this person really deserve access to me? And there will be some days, for me today, after this work, after this session, I am putting my phone on Do Not Disturb. Y'all be all right? Because I need to do a mental health check-in. And when they call my phone, that's why voicemail, if it's an emergency, even with the Do Not Disturb, the text message will come in and I will check it when I get good and ready. Because I have to make time so that I can continue to be the effective communication coach. See, as an entrepreneur, you are providing a service and or a product. There is a dependency on you to deliver. That's a big responsibility. So if you do not make time to pour into you, then how are you going to pour into others? Don't nobody want to deal with an angry entrepreneur. Good morning, is it? So we're going to talk about some other risk factors as well. Where are we at in time? Where am I? That's an hour already. Look at that. We having a good time? Yes. We straight? Yes. Okay. Patrick is still there, so I know I'm not boring him. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this slide. If you are interested in learning more about me and my journey, my website is RealCommCoach. That's RealCommCoach.com. And you can go to the website and learn more about me and see me in action. But today, for the next hour and a half or so, what is this about? What's this about? Oh, sure. RealCommCoach, so RealCommCoach.com. And that's also my Instagram. So feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, follow me on Instagram. What's today about?
Me.
Wait a minute, who said that? What'd you say?
Me.
Thank you, Darren. See, some of y'all was already about to go into, and Darren, he's got it. He said me. Why do we, as people of color and women, when it comes, we want to, it's about you. It's okay. Make it about you sometimes. It's okay. Because some of y'all, when I ask that question, this is about, no, this is about you. This is about you. You think you're in this room coincidentally? No, ma'am. No. There's a purpose. You're going to leave here differently than when you came in this room. I'm going to say that again. You're going to leave here differently than when you came in this room. And even in the midst of challenges, whatever you're going through, you're going to have to make some time to be selfish at times, because when you put yourself first, okay, I'll give you another example. How many have recently traveled via plane? Okay, when the captain or the pilot gets on the PA system, he says, in the rare instance of where the flight needs to descend rapidly, there's going to be some masks that come down. You're going to put that mask on what? First. Hello, let's say it again. When the mask comes down, what do they tell you to do? Why do they tell you to put your mask on first, Miss Janice? Yes, but why? And why? Why you first? Why you first versus just putting it on? But why they say you put it on first? Exactly. Because if you don't save yourself first, how are you going to help the person next to you that may need some assistance? You over there helping everybody else and now you can't breathe. That's okay. That's why we're here. We're a team now. It's all right. Does that make sense? So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because this is about each of you, not me. Entrepreneurial revolution. We are part of an extraordinary group of leaders in this world that requires a lot of courage, that requires acumen, aptitude, patience, so many different variables and factors. Now, these are some stats in terms of how entrepreneurship has evolved over the past years. 1 million new ventures are created. 1 million just in this country alone, 1 million. Now, out of those 1 million, how many of them actually like win-win?
10%?
It's definitely between 15 to 25%. Because a lot of people have the aptitude, they have the acumen, they have the product, but they didn't have what we talked about in the first 5 minutes. It starts with the M. See, you got it, Miss Janice, the mindset. They didn't make the time, as Miss Angela brought up, to detox, to decompress, to reprogram. Out of the 1 million, women and people of color, that's another thing, just so y'all know, speaking of narrative, a lot of times you're going to hear the word minority. How do you think I feel about that word? What's the first 5 letters in the word minority? Say it again?
Minor.
Who in this room is minor? Y'all gonna quit letting people put y'all, not just a box, but just leveling you. Because think about it. How many times do we hear the word minority? Read it, hear it, see it? A lot. You know that's intentional. I'm about to make some people mad in this room, but guess what? The people that mind and the people that matter. I literally, and anybody that knows me knows this is a true story. I was on a panel, and I speak on a variety of panels. So just so y'all know, I do radio, I do one-on-one coaching, I do group coaching, I do keynote speaking, I do motivational speaking, I do podcasting, I do it all. Because it all aligns with my mission of transforming emerging and existing professionals into extraordinary leaders by mastering the art of effective communication. I do a lot. And I was on this particular panel, and one of the panelists used the word minority. And I said, okay, let's take a time out. While I'm on this panel, we're going to remove that word from our narrative. Because remember, words manifest. Trust me, the word minority it's technically supposed to refer to quantity. Now you look at the makeup of this room. So technically, who would be the minority in this room? But how many people are going to refer to Patrick, Lily, or I'm sorry, what's your name? That's my mother's name! Thank you, Lord. How many people are going to refer to them as minorities? Do you see what I'm saying? Y'all better get that mind right. Y'all better get that mind right. And even with people of color, how I show up as a black woman is completely different from how a Latinx woman would show up. Or a Southeastern Asian woman would show up. Or a white woman would show up. You see what I'm saying? You got a lot of work to do, y'all. It's the mindset. Because You know, life, that's why they call it microaggression. Anybody heard the word microaggression? They call it microaggression because every day, just a little bit is taken from your soul and from your mind, and it impacts how you show up as a boss, and the next thing you know, you don't have nothing left. Because you received it, you consumed it, you accepted it. Now, I was respectful and professional with my counterpart on the panel, but I'm pretty confident he's gonna think about the next time he uses that word. Pretty confident. It was a teachable moment. Now, if you're okay with being referred to as a minority, that's on you. But me, no, we're not doing that today. We're not doing discounts, deductions, minority, all these underlying microaggressions. Because if you act like a worker, then people are gonna what? But if you act like a boss, and sometimes you're gonna make people uncomfortable, but guess what? Welcome to my world. I'm a black woman. The people that matter and the people that mind, some of y'all might right now might not already like me. That's okay, I love y'all. And I wish somebody would have poured this into me. I wish I would have had this experience. Because I told you, as of December 2020, I declared I'm not managing fragilities anymore. It's been exhausting for the past 45 years. All right. Now, this is my favorite part. Oops. Rate of wealth creation. Who in here wants to create wealth as a result of their, oh, I love that. You didn't waste no time. I know that's right. What's your name again? Sierra. Sierra was like, who in here wants to create wealth from their business? Now remember, wealth is subjective. You define what wealth looks and feels like for you. I'm going to say that again. You define success. You define wealth. It is not a one-size-fits-all. Whatever success looks and feels like for you, you stick to it. Because what amazes me is that so many people want to tell me what success and wealth should look like. That's another thing. Thank you for putting that in my mind. Quit receiving advice from people who aren't doing what you're doing and doing it better. Some of y'all taking advice from folks who are still clocking in and clocking out and angry. Told y'all, I'm not running for mayor, so I'm going to keep it 100. Not H-U-N-D-R-E-D, 100. H-U-N-N-I-D, 100%. Over 70%, now this is a really, really good fact. I'm so glad this is, now listen to this. Over 70%, that means out of every 10 young people in this country, 7 of those 10 want one day to have their own ventures. Why? Think about it. Now you know what kids do. What do kids do? They watch. They watch who? They watch us. They watch the older people. Remember when we were younger? Throughout the conditioning process, we would watch our parents, our grandparents, our aunties, our older cousins, our teachers, our Sunday school teachers, all the people that were part of our lives as children. We watch. Kids watch. You know that, right? That's why, you know, some people used to say, I used to tell my kids, don't do what I say. I mean, don't do what I do, do what I say. But they watch. They're taking notes. They see everything. So what did the younger generation see over the past 10, 15 years in terms of people working? Yeah, that's right. 10 or 15 years. Keep going. People getting fired, people losing jobs, people losing their, remember, okay, let me say it differently. 2007, 2008, 2009. Remember those years? Uh-huh. Yes, ma'am. Come on, somebody. They've also seen us working 2 jobs or more, and then when we get home, what are we? We're tired. And the kids, they just want what? Some attention, some time, some love. So they took notes. They saw how we worked and how employment impacted. No, seriously, think about it. My kids are 23 and 26. And we're just now, over the past 5 years up to current date, rebuilding our relationship, forgiving me. Now, because I'm a boss now, and my kids like nice things, and I'm not saying that, you compensate lack thereof, but we have extraordinary experiences now. See, money, and I need y'all to write this down. Money is a tool. That's it. Some of us treat money way better than we treat our family. Some of us will go ham like, you didn't have my money? Go get the Vaseline. Now, I'm not saying that people, because I told you I'm commerce driven. I don't play when it comes to my money, but I changed my mindset. It's a tool. That's why I said whatever wealth looks and feels like for you, you define that. There are some people who are like, look, I just want my cabin up in Green Lake, and I want peace. So, I want to make, I'm just giving a dummy number, I want to make $50,000 a year. That's fine. Then there's people who are like me. They ain't enough zeros, the price just went up. $1 billion would be nice before I leave this earth. It's a tool. What these young people saw was all of us, well, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to ask people to disclose their age. So anybody in this room, and please don't raise your hand because I want Patrick to invite me again next time. Don't raise your hand. But for those in the room that are, I would say 40 and over, don't raise your hand. 40 and over, just kind of reflect on how you showed up over the years of working and how your children observed you and what they experienced. Just think about it. That's why 70% of the kids now, they're like, nah, we good on that whole employment thing. We saw how that worked out. Yeah, we're good. We're gonna create our own business. And also, in all seriousness, another tool that has been amplified, and the reason why, I'm gonna tell y'all a funny story. So, I'm 45, I love fashion, and every now and again I go to Chicago, go on Michigan Avenue, and go to Louis Vuitton, see what's cracking. And like now, I'll see the lines wrapped around the block, and the lines are made up of kids. And I'm like, when I was 18 through 20, 30, it would just be, ooh, look at that store. Right. Walk in, let alone stand in line. But technology also. Because my son, Darren, he's had 3 LLCs. And he generates revenue from each of those LLCs. And he doesn't even have to be at certain places in order to make money because of technology. And we all know, millennials and Gen Zers, their technical aptitude is it's through the roof. And that's a great thing. So just know that the entrepreneurial market or industry is saturated with younger people because of what we showed them combined with technology. Those are the 2 primary reasons. There are a whole, when I tell y'all this, I'm not even exaggerating. If you were to, don't even know if that data is public, but if you were to look at the number of millionaires in this country alone that are under the age of 25, you would be amazed. Millionaires with an M. I know a lot of young people, and it's like, yeah, I make 80, 90,000 a week. Here in Milwaukee. I'm not kidding. And they're not satisfied. Yeah, I'll make 80, 90,000 a week. I'm trying to make $80, $90,000 a day. I'm like, but that's that. So if that's what you're putting out, then what's going to happen? Because I declared in 2020, after I kept getting all those cancellations, I was like, no. I'm not going to adopt this mindset. I'm not, and my mother even said it too, Maureen. She called me and she said, Denise, this is going to be your best year ever. And I received that and I declared that. And like I told you, in 2020, my profit margin was double digits. After all the cancellations, because, and I don't mean to triumph off of tragedy, but what happened on May 30th of 2020? Come on, y'all. No. A major event that got world attention. George Floyd. And there was this now amplified interest and focus on what in this country? Racial, social justice, diversity, equity, inclusion. So then what do you think started happening in my inbox and in my phone? And let me say this for the record. Just as much money as I made, I gave. I invested in my community. And I don't need, a lot of times when I give, I don't do it for accolades or recognition. I do it because I'm standing on the shoulders. Yeah. And that brother did not deserve to lose his life and leave a daughter and cry out for his mama during his last breath. And as a mother of a black son, how do you think I felt? It was exhausting. I almost said a bad word. It was exhausting. But this thing called entrepreneurship, if it were easy, again, Patrick would have had to get the Pfizer form. And I'm sharing that story with you because, again, if I had not had the right people, if I didn't have the right mindset, if I didn't have vodka, no, I'm just playing. I'm not, but all of those things poured into me and I was able to manifest greatness. Because again, everything that we're going to talk about today, everything is going to be poured into you. It means nothing if you do not organize for what you are desiring and have that mindset. Now, we are about, what, is it an hour and a half yet? Okay, so we're going to take a quick break because I know how it is when you've been sitting down. And so here's the thing, because I know I'm guilty of it too. When I say we're going to take a 10-minute break, that means real 10 minutes. That don't mean, okay, I'm going to go out here and, do my thing, because I got my check. So whether you're in here or not, I'm going to keep growing and keep going and making sure that y'all have what y'all need. So what time is it, Miss Janice? 9:50 on the dot? Come back at 10:01. I'm going to give you a bonus minute. 10:01. 10:01. Not 10:05, 10:01.
That's awesome.
That's all. Where's fabulous Denise again?
Thank you. Oh, please, no, we're good. No. But I appreciate it. I received that. How y'all feeling? You had a good break? Everybody's good? Y'all coming back smiling? I love it. Everybody's good? All right. That's the only thing about masks. I can't pick up on the vibe of your but as long as y'all are good and everybody came back, we got a few people I think Is everybody back? Toga? Okay, perfect. All right, she's coming. I didn't lose her. All right. So I'm going to speak for another hour, give or take, and then you'll have time to have a networking experience and just get ready for the next speaker. Does that work? Okay, because remember I told you, what is today for me? What's today for me? What am I doing after I leave here? Mental health check. I'm putting my phone on Do Not Disturb. I know some of y'all are like, what? Yeah, just do it. Like, you can do it. Trust me. Because I organize for what I pray for. And what do you think my prayer is? Pretty consistently, what do you think my prayer is? To be better, but to also, to your point, in addition, but in addition to being better, use me, use the gift that you gave me. I want to pour into people. So tomorrow, I'll be working from 7 to 9 on WTMJ if y'all want to tune in. There's a new radio station which is a part of Good Karma Brands called The Truth. It's about black stuff. And we have a segment, Dr. Ken Harris and I, on WTMJ every Sunday from 7 to 9. So if y'all want to tune in, what I love about it is that we talk about black things on a predominantly white radio station. So I cut up. Because I get phone calls. I've literally gotten texts and phone calls where they start a few people. So this is the work that I do. Then I drive to Green Lake, Wisconsin on Monday. I speak at a conference for wellness and well-being for the Wellness Council of Wisconsin. I'm going to St. Norbert College. I teach at St. Norbert College, a group of executive leaders. And then, let's see, I head to Phoenix next week to speak at a conference. And then I go to DC and New York to meet with some former White House officials that worked for Trump, President Trump. And the reason why I'm sharing that with you, because you notice my schedule, my agenda. Booked and busy. Because I manifest. And then I also, most importantly, make time for me. And I know I shouldn't say this in front of this audience, but in the spirit of diversity and inclusion, I am a Chicago diehard Bears fan. Patrick knows this. And so I'll be heading to Las Vegas to watch the Las Vegas Raiders play the Chicago Bears in their new stadium. You see, I make time for the things that I want to make time for. That's why I encourage y'all to follow me on social media, because I want to inspire. Like, people that follow me on social media always say, you remind me that, yes, you can work hard, but you can also... And I travel by myself. I have no problem traveling by myself. The last trip that I took before COVID was when I went to I went to Paris to watch the Milwaukee Bucks play in Paris. Remember that, 2019? I was at that game. So again, I'm saying all this because whatever success, happiness, peace, abundance looks and feels like for you, you deserve that, like right now. You don't have to wait on permission to be great. And I'm especially talking to the black women in the room. Some of y'all right now had to convince yourself and others in your family that you'd be spending your Saturday here. What do you mean you're not going to be able to? What do you mean? I'm not worried about you. I'm pouring into me. Period. And quit explaining yourself. All right, let me get back on track here. We could be here all day. All right, entrepreneurs are the heroes and sheroes. Y'all are the winners. Y'all are what makes... Do you realize that every thing, place, object that we consume through the exchange of goods, services, or currency was created by an entrepreneur? Miss Janice, can you pick up that pen, please, and just hold it up? Someone had an idea to create that pen. Are y'all with me? It didn't just fall out the sky one day. Someone had an idea to create that pen. That is entrepreneurship. And then it became so resourceful that the person received, oh, well, I hope they did, a whole lot of money. And then now you have all different types of distributors of what? Pens. Do you realize that? That each of you have a product and or service that is just as significant as the idea that Steve Jobs had when he invented the, I was going to say the iMac, but it was called something else before. Macintosh, thank you, Lily. Macintosh. And now, Steve Jobs, I think he's passed away for a pretty, like at least 12, 15 years, and his legacy still what? I still can say Steve Jobs and people know exactly who that is. What I need for y'all to understand is that it's time to break the monotony of big ideas being known as created by white men. And I use that word known as because there are a lot of things that were given credit to that demographic, but actually there were some of us in the background helping make it come to fruition. So as entrepreneurs, why don't you visualize the fact that this product and service that you're creating is going to live way beyond you. And you will never, ever be non-existent. Even when you are transitioned on to the next part of this thing called life, the afterlife, whatever you believe in, you will still have something that serves, represents you and your legacy. That's the power of entrepreneurship. Everything that you have in your hand, on your back, the car you drive, the food that you consume. Speaking of which, your legacy is going to live on. You're going to create other fruity experience people so that even when you have gone on to the next life, you still got the fruity experience everywhere. That's how you have to think. This is not a hobby. That's another thing. If you treat this like a hobby, you already know. You feel me? That's exactly how it's going to treat you. That's exactly how it's going to treat your bank account. Cannot have that. You are the sheroes and the heroes because you are creating legacies. And for many of us in this room, that has not been part of our conditioning. It is, you get a job, you keep that job, you retire from that job, you collect pension, and then you die. Stop. I don't even receive that. Now, for those that want that, that's fine. But everybody in this room, we don't want that. We want our empire to exist generation, well beyond our existence. And you best believe I'm going to do this until I take my last breath. I'm going to be like, hello, good morning. Because I'm walking and I'm operating in my power. And remember, as part of making the world livable, I'll give you another analogy. Everybody familiar with Superman? Anybody not familiar with Superman? Everybody familiar with the story of Superman? What was the alter ego of Superman? Clark Kent. Now, when Superman, just bear with me because this is going to be another aha for y'all. When Superman, it's a fiction, science fiction story, but just there's a meaning. Walk with me. When Superman came down from the meteor, and he was a baby, he landed somewhere in the Midwest, let's say Kansas. And the couple, which became his surrogate parents, discovered Superman and raised him. Between the ages of, I would say, 5 and maybe 7, Superman, are y'all with me? Started to demonstrate his what? Who said power? His power. I'm going to say that again. Because remember, how old did I tell you I was when I started operating in my power? Some of y'all know when you first discovered your power. I was 3, Superman was 5. He started demonstrating his power. He was able to lift a car with his bare hands. He was, remember, to leap tall buildings in one single bound. He was able to stop trains, all these things. And one day, his father, his adopted or surrogate father, said to him, and we've all been there, look, man, you can't be out here picking up cars and stuff because, you know, this world is not ready for a little kid, teenager. Then when he got to school, he was what? He was ridiculed. He was ridiculed because his peers recognized that he had a what? A power. Y'all with me? And society traditionally, when they sense that you have a power, they immediately start to what? Come on, somebody. And so then, Superman, he struggled with his power, and he felt that he had to camouflage it, so he then became what? Clark Kent. And when he was Clark Kent, he was what? He was reserved, shy, wore these big old glasses, put a part on the side of his head, act like, you know. But when things got heated, what did he have to do? He had to go into the telephone booth. He had to put on them blue and red tights, put on that cape, and go save the world.
If I might say something.
Yes.
Almost sound like the story of Jesus.
It does. It does.
You know what I'm saying? Almost sound like the story of Jesus.
So how does that resonate with y'all?
That's how it resonates with me.
No, I'm saying, yeah. What does that mean? Do you see the underlying message? Because if entrepreneurs are the heroes like Superman and like Jesus, and we make the world livable, you have to understand that operating in your power is going to be challenged every day. People are going to tell you not to operate in your power. And then you are going to do just like Superman and what? Go into Clark Kent mode. See, I don't do that no more. If you can't receive my power, you're not ready for it. Everybody in this room has been receptive to my power. My power is what?
Communication.
You know how many, this is why I love God so much. Because what do you think the teachers would tell my parents when I was growing up in school? Denise talks, oh, trust me, I get it today. Denise talks way too much. She's a distraction. She's a disruptor. Y'all ready for this? I'm receiving an award, and I haven't announced this publicly, so y'all getting like breaking news. I'm receiving an award from BMO Harris Bank, and are y'all ready for this? What do you think the name of the award is?
Chatterbox.
Disruptor. See how life works? Thank you for that. When you operate in your power, those that mind and those that matter, and the more and more that I operate in my power, and the more that I embrace the fact that I'm the hero. Each of you are heroes, however you want to identify yourself. Do not Clark Kent your power. You operate in it every day. Because those same people that are telling you that you're disrupting, when the stuff hits the fan, who do they call? I love going home now. Denise, I follow you on social media and I see all the great things that you're doing. Yeah, but you're the one that said, woo! Entrepreneurship is the most, and here's the thing, I don't like the word empower. And the reason why I don't like to use the word empower is because it implies that you're powerless and that you need to be empowered. You already have the power. Quit letting people discount your power. Oh, you thought you were going to come in here and how to put together an Excel spreadsheet? No. This is where it gets real. Because this is the stuff that, remember I told you, the first thing I said, mindset, conditioning, detox. You're going to have to do that. Because the majority of my life, I was told that this is probably about where you could go in life. Like maybe like right here. Right here. It's just like process that for a second. I was told at a young age that I talked too much. I was a disruption. I would not be successful. My life was over, especially once I had my 2 kids. Oh my gosh. And I wasn't married. Man, can you imagine the narrative that I was getting? Oh my gosh, outcast. I had bastard children, and I remember one time my son came home, and that's a whole different conversation, but basically he came home and said, Mom, my teacher said that Dominique is my half-sister. Yeah. Let's just say I had an effective communication conversation with that teacher the next day. But you see how society is? And I didn't write the book. The story of Jesus, the story of I didn't write it, but it's so true. And then when you combine that with what's on the screen behind me, do you receive that? Do you understand that you have a power, you have an anointing, you have a gift that no one else has but you? The thing is, you have to figure out how you're going to differentiate that. Because there are an abundance of great speakers, not just in the world, but here in Milwaukee, that I admire, that I'm seeing. I see you. I don't look at that as competition, because how I speak and how I show up is different. You know, you make a decision every day. Do I want to go to Target? Do I want to go to Walmart? Do I want to go to Meijer? They all have, like, legit 90% are the same products. You go in for maybe the experience, the pricing, the location. You see what I'm saying? Everything ain't for everybody. Don't get caught up in competition. Just worry about how you're going to show up in your power. And let people make the choice. I had an invitation. I probably shouldn't share this story out loud, but the Spirit's telling me to. So I had an organization reach out to me and asked me to speak during one of their signature events. And another speaker who's very well known here in Milwaukee as well, they had already booked this person as the keynote. They asked me would I come and be a workshop facilitator. Now, no offense to Kelly Rowland or Michelle Williams, but I'm Beyonce. I ain't no background singer. You ain't gonna level me. Because they were gonna market it as this person, keynote, and then Denise Thomas, workshop. What do you think I said?
Price went up. Price went up.
Because my brand is everything. And who owns your brand? You do. Because if you don't own it, then you're going to let others. And remember, when somebody sees Fruity Experience, there's an associated feeling that has everything to do with you either allow or you let somebody else. So I said, okay. Now mind you, I always smile. When y'all see me smile like this, just know there's something going on in my mind. I was like, okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to market me as the special guest speaker, executive board member. You see how I did that? Because I'm Beyonce. I ain't Kelly. I ain't Michelle. I ain't a pimp. I'm Gladys Knight.
That's that boss thing.
And what do you think they said?
Because you act like a boss.
And then, and I have the email, and trust me, I don't want y'all, humility, matter of fact, there's a book called Humble Leadership. And if anybody who knows me in this room knows that if I'm with you, I'm going to do everything I can to make you feel connected and valued. But that's the thing though, oftentimes your survival mechanisms will tell you that, you know, you don't want to come off as a diva, or you don't want to come off, tell your self-talk to shut up, because this is where you have to act like a boss. And when they agreed, they then sent me a letter apologizing, which wasn't necessarily, you know, I wasn't trying to warrant an apology, but they took a step back and they were like, man, Denise Thomas ain't no joke. We did not want you to feel like we were trying to, you know, minimalize your brand, or, and I was like, don't worry, because I wouldn't let you anyway. The people that mind and the people that matter, they don't mind. And this organization didn't mind because they looked at the bigger picture. They wanted 2 great speakers. And remember, this person is great. We've actually talked about collaborating, but I ain't a pimp. I'm who? I'm not Kelly or Michelle. Who are you? Are you Clark Kent or are you super? Because according to this, we make the world livable. We are the heroes or the sheroes. Are y'all with me?
Yes.
Thank you, Darren. Does that make sense? It's gonna sting, trust me. Your body's gonna tell you, you have never done this before. What are you doing? What do you mean? Yeah, it's called you're operating your power. And unlike Clark Kent, don't wait for permission to operate in it. Operate in it every day. Do you feel my power? Have you experienced my power? Exactly. Now I'm ready to experience yours. I'm ready. Whenever you're ready to give it to me, I receive it. Get your mind right. In the words of the great Lauryn Hill, how you gonna win when you ain't right? Whew. I'm gonna have to up my price next year. All right. Yes. Yes, ma'am. I love this.
Can you read that last?
The most freedom-creating phenomenon is the history of the human race. The most freedom-creating phenomenon is the history of the human race. So, part of being a member of the human race, who are you reaching? Who are you reaching? Everybody? I mean like right now, literally. Who are you reaching? Just think about it. You don't have to answer it now. Who do you want to reach? Who are you reaching now? That's okay. Mindset. Mindset. All right. Some of y'all go, I love it, because like I know some of y'all today, when you leave here, somebody's gonna call your phone at certain, you were like, what? I'm changed. Get off my line. I'm a boss. No, it's a complete sentence. Bye. All right. Remember, I'm not big on the word empowerment, but I will say this. You do not have to wait on permission to be great. You are, what did you write down when we first started? What did I ask you to write down? First thing.
I am enough.
You're enough. You're enough. You are enough. We are works in progress. We will continue learning and growing and developing and strengthening. As of right now, you're still what? What would Disney, okay, let's go back to The Color Purple. I love that movie. I love that story. Remember when Miss Seeley finally got the courage to leave and she was in the back of Sugar Avery and her husband's car and she was waving to Mister and he was like, you black, you're a woman, you're ugly. And what did she say? Who said that? Say it one more time, Miss Angela. But I'm here. Do you feel what I'm saying? There are many people that were very close to us that are no longer here. So now what? You're enough. And Miss Seeley, she literally, this is what I loved about that scene, she says, I may be black, I may be a woman, I may be ugly, but I'm here. And what happened instantly when she started operating her power and realized that she was enough? Everything changed. If you haven't already seen the movie The Color Purple, I'm looking at everybody in the room. And if you have seen it, you may need to rewatch it again. And then you need to watch Superman if you haven't already. That's another thing. Quit consuming things that are not healthy. And I'm not talking about food. I'm talking about music, I'm talking about TV. How many times do you think I watch the news a week? Now, I'll go to CNN or, Fox and just maybe kind of glance at the headlines because I'm a radio host, so I do have to know what's going on in current events. But in terms of watching it and consuming that with my ears and my eyes, because guess what? It manifests. If I literally ate garbage, what would come out of me? So if I'm consuming garbage, then it's going to manifest. Everything that I consume with my mouth, my ears, and my eyes represent exactly what I want to manifest. In those days where I consume negative energy from people, what do you think then happens? Somebody sent me an email this morning, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And I gave them the same energy they gave me. And then I was like, you know what? I'm taking a do not disturb day. Because I got a whole lot of power to demonstrate next week. And tomorrow I'm gonna receive an award, I'm gonna go to the gym, and then I'm gonna go to the radio. And then I'm gonna come home, I'm gonna have my vodka on the rocks, and then I'm gonna go to bed. Operate in your power. Entrepreneurship is your power. You have the ability to create whatever you want your business to look and feel like. It's already in you. Do it, and then who needs to know? And please quit getting mad if somebody doesn't post your event or flyer on Facebook. I'm gonna tell you what, I don't spend a lot of money in social media and marketing from a marketing standpoint. You know why?
You are a walking billboard.
Boy, you're Miss J. Y'all gonna be my star pupils. Say that again. I don't have to. People do it for me. You know why? Because I give them the experience of my what? Think how many times you've experienced a product or service and you were just like, or you told your friends. I want to spend more time and energy on making sure that each of you feel connected to my mission. I want to make sure that each of you experience something from me to where you want more and you can't wait to tell others about it, versus me spending time and energy getting mad because somebody didn't post my flyer. Well, you liked my post, but you didn't buy my product. What are you doing? You're wasting time and energy. The question is not to worry about why they didn't buy it, but focusing on how I can make sure that every time that I can't even speak. That means the devil's not liking what I'm saying. Every time I'm about to operate in my power, somebody has changed. I had a lady, she's a friend of mine, associate more than a friend, but I consider her somebody who I break bread with. And she was like, I want to support women-owned businesses, and I'm going to feature women every month on LinkedIn. So I just need you to give me a quick write-up, and I sent her to my website, my bio. She called me yesterday, and she said, Denise, I've been doing these women business features for the past 6 months. I posted yours, and it just went bananas. She was like, you know everybody. And I said, and what I was really thinking of is, you're welcome. Why are you trying to make it seem like you do me, babe? I don't know who you are. But from a humility standpoint, that just spoke to me because what I'm putting out is what I'm getting back. When you put out love, you get back love. And your products and services should be filled with what? When I go to restaurants, I promise you, if I get a bad vibe from the server, I'm like, I don't want you. Because I'm not about to consume food that has your energy. Seriously, I do. You ain't about to kill me. I want love. Who's that? Can she serve me? Can he serve me? Because I don't want you. I don't get to have a bad day and come on this stage and then just pour negative. I don't get that. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that. So I don't receive it from others. I didn't come up here, yeah, whatever, Patrick. So what y'all want? I gave you the experience that you deserve, and that is greatness. And do you notice that I always say, are you with me? Are you with me? I want to make sure this time that you're giving me is valuable for you. That's operating in my power. Who would I be to come up here on this stage in front of all of you beautiful people and waste your time and not give you an experience? That'd be so disrespectful. That's why I'm customer service, boy. Woo! It is non-existent. All right. All of this you create. You're the boss. We good? I'm just waiting. Now you remember I told you when I smile, there's something going on in my head. You remember that, Miss Angela? Okay. The at-risk person is the person not prepared for the entrepreneurial age. Based on what I've shared so far, what does that remind you of based on what I've said before when you read this? The at-risk person is the person not prepared for the entrepreneurial age. Mindset. Yes, that and that. Say it again. If you're always consumed with the problems, you will not be able to receive the possibilities. If you are always focusing on the problems, you will not be prepared to receive the possibilities. Period. We talked about this. This is so major. How many people have to-do lists? They operate on to-do lists every day. Don't you feel accomplished when you check off? You're like, yes, okay. Add this to your checklist every day. My mindset exercise. I'm going to wake up in the morning. I'm going to declare I am enough. This is going to be a productive day. And even if there is a challenge, I'm going to show up this way. Those are some examples. Whatever is the best authentic way for you to do it, just make sure that when you wake up in the morning, part of your to-do list is that mindset. I am currently in therapy. I meet with my therapist once a week. That has everything to do with what? And again, I'm just speaking for me. I'm black. I'm a woman. I live in Wisconsin. This is everything. Because there's not a day that goes by where I'm not reminded that I'm a black woman in Wisconsin. Somebody said one time that being a black woman is like being black twice. Your mindset is part of your power. Cannot stress that enough. And if you don't start focusing on your mental health, start forgiving yourself, start forgiving others, start reflecting on the things that you know have caused you not to fully operate in your power and getting rid of those things, all of this is obsolete. Mindset. I want you to walk out today's session. What time are we over today? Like what, 3, 2? Like the whole day today? 12?
We'll be done at 12:31.
Okay, so around 1 o'clock, when you walk out of this building and you go back into this thing called the world, life, how are you going to show up?
Like a boss.
Brothers, I didn't forget y'all either. I don't care if you're walking in Walmart. No, good, thank you. Manifest. 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 It ain't always going to be sunny days either. As a matter of fact, you're going to get more, and I'm sure you can relate too. Lord knows I can. You're going to receive way more no's than you are yeses. But trust me when I tell you, when those yeses come, woo! You're going to get those no's. And some days you're going to get back to back. And it's discouraging if you allow it to be. Lord, I declare that these rejections that you put in my life are just your way of saying that wasn't the opportunity that I had in store for you.
Delayed, not denied.
Delayed, not denied. I love that. Thank you. Because, man, when those yeses come in, I'll be like, I get it. And again, whatever higher power that you believe in, whatever that, I am not here to push or propaganda religion. I'm just saying that part of my success has been knowing that there is a higher power. Yeah, I'm the boss, but there's a boss that's way bigger than me. And he's the only boss that I serve. Mindset, attitude, behavior. Attitude. And these are great affirmations that I would actually, when you receive this presentation, or no, you have them in your binder. Make a note. Make a note to declare this every day. These are great. Declare that through your mouth, through your narrative. I can affect change. There is a better way. Opportunities are everywhere. I'm embracing innovation. I'm embracing change. I am embracing growth. Failure does not exist. Every experience is a lesson that I am learning. And if I don't win the first time, I take what I learned from that and I keep moving onward and upward. I am so optimistic that today is going to be a great day. I'm declaring that. And show your passion. How am I supposed to be passionate about your product and you ain't? Yeah, so like I sell clothes on, oh man, what's the name of the street? Yeah, State Street. You ain't selling to me. I don't want that on my back. I am the effective communication coach. And every day I transform emerging and existing professionals into extraordinary leaders by mastering the art of effective communication. And when you hear that, you're like, I want more. I'm off today. Behavior. And you know, these things I love and consider them reminders, friendly reminders of how to show up. And whatever other behaviors, like one of the words that aren't on here, but are the cousin of this attitude, is energy. Do y'all feel my energy?
Yes.
I want you to feel my energy. I want to inspire, influence, inform, and entertain. That's my mission. That's what I want to do. I want you to experience that. What is your passion? What is your energy? How are you going to show up? Entrepreneurship is everything that is on this screen. And I'm going to add the question that you need to answer. You don't necessarily have to answer it now. You may feel inclined to answer it after you leave here today or after the final session. But what does it mean to you? Not based on what you think others should hear, not based on what you think others should hear from you, based on what do you see as entrepreneurship? What does being a boss look and feel like for you? You know, people have so many opinions about celebrities, the Kardashians, Kanye West, even Megan Thee Stallion, who came here to Summerfest and performed, what was that, Thursday? Sold out. I mean, I didn't see too many empty seats. She is doing what? She is operating in her power, and she basically will tell you, those that mind and those that matter don't mind. And let me be clear, y'all, because I had my glasses on. There were a lot of people in the audience that did not look like Megan Thee Stallion. And there were a lot of people in the audience that did not seem to have the same age demographic as Megan Thee Stallion. Oh, I saw some aunties up in there. I was like, oh, okay. I saw some uncles. I saw some colleagues. I was like, all day. See what happens when you operate in your power? You think Kanye West is worried about what people say? Not at all. He's in the lab coming up with the next shoe that sells out in like 2 seconds. Entrepreneurship as a process, and I think we've definitely covered all. These are pretty straightforward. Again, these are in your binder, and I really want you to insert to the side in your notes mindset. I'm so glad that that's part of our scope, because again, that is everything. You can have the opportunity, you can develop the concept and the business model, you can do all of these things. They will be nothing if you don't have what? Remember, you're Adam Levine. You're not Maroon 5. You're Gladys Knight. You're not a pimp. You're Christina Aguilera. You're the lead. You feel me? Because society is going to tell you every day that you are a pimp, that you are a minority, that you are less than. And then that's when you say, no. I completely disagree.
So is that like I'm the head and not the tail?
Pretty much. It's whatever you want to be, as long as you're the leader. Apply humility, but understand the difference between conceited and confidence. There is a difference. Confidence is everything. If you don't believe in your product and or service, who else will? You know why a lot of people don't like Kanye West? Think about it, based on what we've talked about today. Because, say it again? I can't hear you.
Because he makes a lot of money and he's black.
A lot of people struggle with that. And then he says things, even a lot of black people don't like Kanye West. Because you know what he does also? He's a free man. And what have black people in this country been conditioned to not be? Free. Come on, y'all.
Speak your truth.
Told you, some of y'all ain't gonna like me after I leave here today. That's okay. Because that means I'm operating my power. And the older I become, and the older I begin to, my 40s have been amazing. Anybody in their 40s? Shoot, I almost did it again. Don't tell me! Don't tell me! Patrick will be like calling chief HRO on Denise. She was asking about their age. For those that are in the room that are in their 40s, you know what it's like. It's much better than the previous decades. And man, oh man, I can't wait to get to my 50s because I've heard those are even better, Lord willing. And the reason why I bring that up is because entrepreneurship is definitely a journey. And guess what? Here's the powerful thing, and I really want y'all to adopt this as part of your mindset. Entrepreneurship is a journey that has no finish line. You will never stop operating in your power. You will never stop doing this work. That's why when sometimes potential clients, Denise, we need you to come in here and solve racism. What? First of all, I'm the victim, so I'm not trying to solve anything that I didn't perpetuate. Second of all, there's no finish line. This is a process. 1648, Jamestown, Virginia. It's when the first Africans from Ghana were brought to what is known now as America. We're not going to see racism solved in our lifetime. I'm not going to say it's never going to happen, but it's a journey. So I want you to think of entrepreneurship. Yes, you need to have key performance indicators. You need to have metrics. But just know that there is no finish line. And you will continuously be growing and developing. There will be some years where it's break even. I hope not. And there may be some years where, but you keep going, because again, none of us in this room, however we identify, are new to adversity. We're just not. So embrace the fact that it is not always going to be a sunny day scenario. I'm sorry, what time is it? Okay, perfect, thank you. This is a powerful slide. The entrepreneurial experience, man, it definitely has days where you're like, I am overwhelmed. I feel like I don't have anybody on my team helping me. I feel like I'm alone. There's so much uncertainty, especially again, remember I talked about detoxing. Remember, some of us were conditioned to where every Friday, that direct deposit, but guess what? It was the same amount. There may be some weeks where you don't necessarily get that same amount, but man, there's gonna be some weeks you're like, oh my God, there's just so many checks. I'm so overwhelmed. Your QuickBooks is going off, your PayPal's going off, you gotta go to the bank to deposit your checks. It's just like, oh my goodness, I'm serious. I had that week about 2 weeks ago. I mean, I have it a lot. It's important for me to say this to y'all, and I know you don't see this as me bragging. I know you see this as me pouring into you, because I know what it's like to have my car repossessed. Are y'all with me? I know what it's like to have weak energies turn off my power. Once I started operating in my power, I pay all my bills at one time every year. I'm not kidding. Because the journey And let me be clear, when you see me, you need to see you. There is nothing that's different from me in terms of the success that I'm in right now. It's yours. Because remember, we come from a society where there's levels, and they try to convince you that if you look a certain way, or if you come from a certain neighborhood, if you have, then you can only be here. That is a lie. I'm a living, breathing testimony. And it's not even done yet. I'm just getting started. I'm saying this to you because I need you to understand that whatever your situation is in right now, I don't care if you have negative $5 in your bank account. Start operating in your power. Start cleaning up your network. Start being intentional about who has access to you and who doesn't. Because your network is your net worth. If you're meeting with people who are broke, and do you know the definition of broke? Broke basically means that for whatever reasons, if something happened to where you couldn't be an entrepreneur at that current time. Broke means that you don't have assets that you can rely upon to help you while you were rebuilding. That's the definition of broke. Some of y'all are saying that you're broke and you're not broke. Some of y'all are saying that you're wealthy and you're not. Because when you start making money, and that's something that I'm sure we'll talk about in the subsequent sessions, is you're going to start making investments too. Because remember, I'm on Obamacare. As much as I love Obama, it ain't that affordable. Don't let me see Obama on the street. I'm like, brother, I voted for you twice. All of this, make it your own. Operate in your power. Receive what you are gaining through this program. Organize for what you are praying for. Clean out the garbage. Operate in your power. Clean out the garbage. Get your mind right. How you gonna win? Receive, and another thing too, some of y'all got y'all's phones on. I'm being honest, you need to be present today. Remember, this ain't about Ray and everybody, this is about who? So quit allowing people to interrupt your greatness. They can wait. Start teaching people that in order for me to be great, I have to be present when I'm at St. Anne's every Saturday. Or when I'm at the gym, I turn my phone off. Because it's about who? Then I can go be great. Did y'all experience greatness today? Yes. Good. Yes. Then I can leave here and I can turn my phone off. Patrick gonna be like, if she say vodka one more time, I can go have my vodka responsibly and enjoy the rest of my day. Denise, it's only 11:30. I work literally, not even exaggerating, probably 100, 150 hours a week. Yeah, it's a lot. But when you do what you love, it don't feel like what? Some days I work, like the administrative stuff, I can't stand. So as much as you can outsource what's not your strength, outsource it. Just like I was telling these two beautiful ladies here regarding their grand opening. I was like, we live in a world that people, some people need both virtual and on-site options. Find somebody that's going to broadcast your grand opening and stream it live. Invest in that. Because pretty much, as long as you've got it streamed on Facebook, guess who can watch your grand opening? The world! Anytime. I'm going to leave now. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your time, your energy, your attention. I'm glad to know that this was beneficial for you. Again, connect with me on LinkedIn. I know sometimes people say, you know, hey Denise, I'd like to get together, have a conversation. I'm all for that. Right now, we're looking at probably mid-November, December. And then if anyone is looking to have like a mentoring relationship, I'm open to that too. We're looking at that in January. You see how I did that? Now, if you're having a breakdown, like I'm about to lose my mind and quit, connect with me. Other than that, November, December, or January. And my contact information should be, I think, in the handout? No? Okay, perfect. And then my website not only has my contact information, but also has where you can set time up with me based on your availability. All right? I know y'all gonna be dope. Wishing y'all all the abundance and happiness and success. I know y'all gonna be dope. Continue to operate in your power. I love y'all and keep doing the great work. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
That was fantastic. She's here to inspire us, and she delivered. I do want to tell you that we have people speak and walk off the stage, and they're completely different than when they were on the stage. Denise walks the talk every single day, and she is in her power. So let's thank her one more time. We've got a little break coming up, and then we have a real treat with Naisha. Very successful business, and she's going to teach us a lot about public relations and marketing, kind of a bonus session. Please take 10 minutes to get yourself something to drink, stretch out, get yourself refreshed, and ready for Naisha.